Are we live? Hey, we're live.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Hello. Welcome to the Magenta show. We had a break last week. It was Canada Day. So I want to welcome Laurie K.Grant to the show today. Welcome, girl. Hey.
Hello. It's lovely to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
You know, we're the generation, we should be shaking hands and going, welcome, you know, but we learn from all these millennial kids that you do the high five. So high five to all of you out there, and thank you so much for joining the show. And if you like the show, you got to share, and let people know that we're live, because we want to keep picking it up on newsfeed so they know we've gone live in case they missed the initial going live, right? Okay. If you are new to the Magenta show, you'll see that there are 3 empty little bottles sitting here on the table. And I want you to feel if you're drawn to number 1, 2, or 3. And at the end of the show, we're going to reveal the color and bottle and the color message for the week. And it's pretty spooky. I get lots and lots of comments and messages from people who say to me, oh, I picked the bottle number 2, and you know what, that really happened to me, or that color was useful for me. So I get a lot of good feedback on that. Yeah,
I really like what you've done with this and bringing it to Canada and allowing people to understand another way to learn about themselves and their energies and what affects them in their lives.
I must be honest, the Melissa Jolly, who makes the system, has always said that the whole reason she created this, or the reason she felt it came through, is that color mirrors all our beauty and potential back to us. So the system's called color mirrors, right? Because it mirrors to you.
Well, and also 2 colors represented in the chakras and colors represented in your aura as well.
Yes,
so
yeah.
it makes lots of logical sense
so you can
to
see
me.
I have a color expert on the show. I
Not
love
really.
it. Oh,
You're
well,
the expert.
You're good. Okay, let's see who's joined us here. Sue Coleman has joined us. She was on the show a couple of weeks ago. Hello, Sue. Aurelia, bottle number 3. Ooh, Aurelia, you've picked my pick of the week. I'm the 3 pick of the week. Ooh. Okay, let's see what happens. Anna Santos has joined us. Anna, and just want to say condolences to Anna. We've heard she's had some bad news about family, and we're sending you lots of love, honey. Grenville Williams has joined us. Zara, hello Zara, darling, how are you? Zara is one of my master's students. She's absolutely incredible. Shannon's joined us. Jeanette from Spain. Aurelia, Denmark, lovely. Oh, excellent. See, we have these incredible people that just join us. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, it's
like having a
wonderful.
live audience here. When we were talking upstairs, I said to you, you know, we can plot and plan as much as we want and what we want to have a conversation about live on camera. But once the energy of these amazing people join us and they start being part of this whole program, then what we often say changes to what we planned.
Well, and I love technology for the reason that it allows us to be in a world without borders and a world where we all are included and we all can communicate.
Yeah.
So I really like technology for that reason.
I know. All right. So what I want to ask you about is, because we've got something, there's a couple, I don't know where to start. There's so much. First of all, okay, let's start this way. You're in black and pink, and I told you that was significant. Because in your life right now, you're going through a major rebirth.
That's correct.
Oh.
I am.
So the black is the perfect color for rebirth. So if you love the show today, we're actually going to ask you to give us black hearts. Black love, because black is one of those cocoon colors that says, you know, discover who you are, look, feel safe to come out and emerge. It's like the butterfly, you know, coming out of its cocoon, out of that darkness, and then it's going to show the rest of the world its colors. And the fact that you've accentuated it with pink says that the next stage for you is all about love. It's all about basing everything you do on love. Do you like that?
Yes, it's true. Because that's what the group is all about, is love and knowledge and living in grace. And it's also my initials. And
so Laurie K.Grant is LKG, stands for?
Love, knowledge, grace.
Okay.
Which is love yourself in the world that you live in.
Yeah.
Learn and share your knowledge and live in grace with an attitude of gratitude and forgiveness.
Oh, I love it. Oh, if you like it, please, with the black hearts, put down LKG. I love it. And this is a group on Facebook, Laurie, that they can go to.
And I have about just under 14,000 members worldwide. I been running it, I think, since March 2016.
Wow.
And it's lovely to be able to connect with all these different people from around the world. And I look at alternative ways of thinking and being and doing. And
you've had a couple of black hearts there.
Oh my goodness, look at that. Wow.
They're coming in. Okay, excellent. Right. So now you also say, and I've heard you say this to people when you try and explain what you do, and you say you create calm out of chaos. So if anybody out there in our audience is feeling a little chaotic at the moment, you might get your answer here. So what do you mean by creating calm in chaos?
So a lot of our lives are chaotic, and creating calm is removing the chaos, removing the clutter, being able to be focused and clear and going in an authentic direction, both in your business and in your personal life. And that's where the principles of love, knowledge, grace come in, because you can apply them to all areas of your life.
Oh, wow. Okay. Right. So now let's say one of our lovely viewers here have got a big problem now. So they want to do a business. And I know a lot of them are thinking about this, but they don't know where to start. And their mind is just so full of all the knowledge they've been given and ways that have been told they have to do things. What would your advice be to them?
Well, there's two different ways to look at your business. One is the front end and what you present to the world. The other, which is where my expertise lies, is what do you do for your foundation so that you've got a solid platform to go out and present yourself to the world.
And what makes up a solid platform? What are the key things?
So one of the things is understanding the workflow of your business. How is the work going to come into your business? How is it going to be transformed? And how is it going to go out? What are all the touch points? And then the other thing that I find really important is understanding your customer's journey. What is the experience that your customer is going to have with you? Because you want them to have the most wow customer experience possible, so they keep coming back and working with you.
We're going to use the dreaded F word here today. Funnels.
Oh no, I don't like those. Not at all.
Okay, so we commented that lately there's this push on Facebook for people to teach us what funnels are. I don't know if you know what a funnel is, my darlings, but you're welcome to put a confused emoji in the comments box. The dreaded F word. So. And I know I've been guided from time to time by mentors to create funnels. And, this is about setting up a business plan that flows in certain ways, and that you and then it becomes very automated as well. And I have to tell you, the thing I don't like about funnels myself personally is when I'm bombarded with 3 emails a day from a person I've never met. I might have clicked on Facebook to look at something that they've offered or get to know a little bit about them, but I've never met them. I don't know who they are. And then I start getting 3 emails in my inbox every day, and it drives me insane. And it just clutters up my email box. And then what happens is I unsubscribe from them and I lose connection with them, because I'm now irritated. I don't feel like they even have taken time to get to know who I am, and yet they're contacting me 3 times a day. And that's the kind of a thing about funnels I don't like. That kind of coming into that automated system.
Not only that, but it's information overload. Our brains can only handle very, very small sound bites where it really grabs your attention. So I don't like them. Where I've got to scroll through miles and miles of stuff to figure out who you are and what it is that you're doing. So business today should be more balanced, and it should be more about who are you? What are your unique problems? How can I help you so that you get your message about who you are and what you do effectively out to the world?
Yeah. So it's relationships. It's getting to know somebody.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. I remember I have a friend and mentor. She's an ex-Dragon's Den panelist, Rachel Elnor, and she said to me once, she said, think about your tribe. She says you can either have thousands and thousands of followers and you don't even know who they are, but they're following you, Or you could maybe have 500 people and you know them intimately. You know their names, you know something about their businesses, and they form the core nucleus of your business. And so she said you have to think about what type of business would you like. And I know, Rachel, you said this many years ago when I was still living in England. I listened to you giving advice about it. And in that moment, what felt right to me was the 500 core people. People that I would know who they are, that I know who I'm selling to, who's investing with me, that I have the name, as opposed to 20,000 people that I haven't got a clue who these people are, you know, and then trying to connect with them and send them emails and messages, and it doesn't feel right.
Well, and
for me, it doesn't anyway.
The other thing too is that it's not a fair value exchange.
Yes.
Whereas the way I envision the world is we're all helping one another, so that we're working as a team, we're inclusive, and we're all lifting and growing
together.
And so it should be mutually beneficial to each other, not that I'm trying to get you to buy something from me and I'm in your face and shoving it down your throat. I don't like that kind of sales at all.
No. And it's difficult for us as women because, you know, a lot of the men that have mentored us, they have that big sales pushiness, you know, you must sell. And I think it's part of the whole. I love the millennials. I love our young people because they're showing us that you can do sales without doing it in a very pushy way. I love the millennials out there. We love you guys and coming into business and teaching us a couple of things, okay? All right, so we both love this particular millennial. Shout out to Mr. Raymond Harlal. We absolutely adore him. Michael, has he joined? I haven't been able to see. There's so many people have joined us. I actually can't keep up with the scrolling to see whether Raymond's even with us here. Michael's just going down. Well, Raymond, we do hope you are watching and you're tuned in, and if you haven't watched the replay, we love you. We really enjoy his energy and the way he's presenting his business, right? And because Laurie and myself are both speaking at Raymond Halal's event on the 20th and 21st of July.
The power of collaboration. And that's what's
collaboration.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's connection. Yeah. It's collaborating. It's working together. Yeah. And that's the new way that we should be doing things.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are you going to be talking about when you go on stage, Laurie?
Well, I wrote a chapter in his book, The Handbook to Entrepreneurship, and it talks about start with the end in mind.
Oh,
and
that's intriguing.
I'm going to actually be looking at why it's important to know your workflow through your business and your customer journey, because I think those are two of the most valuable pieces to know in your business.
Yeah. So if you, in other words, of what you said earlier, is the customer's journey with you in your business. That actually is the key to how you would sell, when you would sell, and if you would even sell to them.
Exactly.
It's so important.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I know, because in my business, I have a lot of people who tune in and they just like the show. They like to pick their 1, 2, and 3 and get the message for the week, because a lot of people do that. But then some people get intrigued and they go, oh, you know, what else do you do? And they kind of want to know, you know, what do I do besides the Magenta show, right? Because there's something I said or my guests and I had a conversation they liked, and then they asked that kind of question. So that's kind of my front door is the show, right? This is the way people get to know that I work with color mirrors and that I brought color mirrors to Canada. But you know, it's a good filtration system as well, because you then people join you because they've gotten to know you through the show. Sometimes tricky, because if I go to events and they go, hello Moira, and they come and hug me and I'm going, I don't know who this person is. And like, they've watched all the shows, and to them I'm real. You know, they've already met me because they've seen me on the show, but I haven't technically physically met them. But that's somebody I want to get to know more, because they've taken the time to invest time and energy to watch our conversations and what we do here. Yeah. Ooh, okay. So we had another little, besides the F word and funnels.
The dreaded F word.
The dreaded F word. We also spoke about how there's this trend to move away from, when we are on stage, to stop speaking about the pain points. You know, when we're on stage, we to get an audience to relate to us, we tell them about where we've suffered and how we've overcome something. And that in turn then is supposed to get them to then go, oh, I'm just like you. And if you've come through it, then it means I can come through it. But I shared with you that is something I'm moving. I've never really been in that way, but it's not something that appeals to me. I have a philosophy that when something's done, you move on.
Well, and the other problem with it is that it's focused on the pain. So it's focused on you being a victim rather than a victor.
Yeah.
And life is here to teach us. It's an adventure. It's an experience. Yeah. A successful life, in my view, is when I get to the end, that I've got memories that say, I lived, I tested, I tasted, I did it, I tried it, I've experienced it. And getting focused on pain kind of limits you
it closes your energy down.
And you retreat.
I was so thrilled when you agreed with me when I had this little conversation with you pre-show, because and please, my darlings in the audience, this is a serious question for you guys, all right? Would you, when you go to live events and you hear speakers like myself and Laurie and just anybody for that matter on stage, and we share with you our sob story, our pain point, where we were a victim, and we share that kind of story, is that a turn on or a turn off? Are you really interested in our past and where we were hurt? Or, like what I believe the millennials do, is they already assume the fact that we've turned up on stage and we're speaking, we have wisdom, and wisdom is gained through pain. And we don't have to tell them about it. They just want to know, what can we do to help them? So yeah, I kind of would like to know from you guys today, please take this really seriously. This is a because we're speaking very soon on stage. And we're raising quite a controversial point here, because there has been the teaching has been to talk about the pain, and you and I are like,
no, I don't want to go there. I don't want to live there. I want to show you what's possible, what the adventure can be, what the excitement is, and what you can create, not the yucky stuff that needs to be left behind.
Yeah. Because the truth of it is, if we are willing to stand up and teach people, we've got something to teach, because we've learned something, we've mastered something, we've overcome the pain. I love that. All right, I would really love to know. So, Michael, if anybody comments, please let us know. We'd like to know what you think about it. The TV's not scrolling up that we can see on site, so we're just waiting to see if anything happens, if anybody does pop in comments. We want to know, if you go to a live event, and please, this is a big question, this is controversial, right? Would you want Laurie and I to be speaking about our pain? And would that be a turn on for you? Or do you just want to hear from us that, how we can help you, and what are the good things we can help you with? So we'd love to know that.
Yeah.
Okay. And Michael, is it working? Michael's just checking the screen for us. Yeah. Okay. It's very, very casual.
Sue says I'm more interested in possibility.
And not the past. Yeah.
Yeah. What can we create?
Yeah.
How can we make things better?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Sue, thank you for that. I appreciate that comment. Yeah, that's, and I know that it's, and I'm going to be very honest with you, I think it comes from the male speakers, the men who were leaders in their field in public speaking, because men have a more difficult time connecting to the emotional body than women. For women, it's much more natural for us to do the nurturing, feeling, emotional side. Men are more logical, and they're thinkers. They're not really feelers, right? And what's happening with the millennials is they're finding that balance between healing and feeling. These young boys, I mean, you look at Raymond Harlal that we're connected with. We're connected with him because he has heart. He's open, but he's also a businessman. He's also a salesman. But he's got that energy that allows us to connect with him through the heart, not just the mind. Is that right?
Well, so that's where the shift between the masculine and the feminine energies is coming in. And again, it's balance. The era that you and I grew up in was, yes, women were, secondary, and the males were all everything and guiding us and how we lived. And now the feminine energy has been lifting. But it's balance. It's balance between both, because we all carry male and female energies, but we stifle them.
Yes.
And that's not allowing us to be a whole, authentic person.
Yeah. And it is that balance, because the males who do the sales side, can we bring the female energy into that side? Yeah, and I love it. I'm loving this conversation. Pink and black today. Pink and black. Rebirth with love. I'm loving it. And Jeanette says, everyone has a story to tell, so now I feel it's better to help. Oh, yeah. I love it. Celeste London, more interested in wisdom from the pain. So Celeste, you're not interested in the story of telling the pain, you're more interested in us focusing then on it, okay? And saying past, present, future, it's like a formula, you can't understand the end without the beginning. Past, present, future, it's like a formula. You can't understand the end without the beginning. Well, I'd agree with you there, Anne, that Laurie and I certainly couldn't understand why we do the work we do if we didn't have the life we've had. But the question here is, do we want to talk about that life in public, on stage, or can people just in the audience, can we just assume the audience is intelligent enough to know the reason we're there is because we've overcome something huge in our lives without having to hash up the past?
My fear of talking about the things that have happened in the past that have brought me to where I am today is that I'll get stuck there.
Yeah.
And that energy will keep following me. And I want to leave it. I want to go forward into something that is more nurturing and creative and hopeful and loving and caring and building a new, better world for all of us.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Isn't this a fabulous conversation, guys? Anne is agreeing with us. Yes, she's saying yes. Fabulous, Anne. Thank you. Thank you for your comments. I'm really appreciating it. So if you have just tuned in, we're here with Laurie K.Grant.
Hello.
And we're both speaking at the Power of Collaboration
on the 20th and 21st of July. And I can't wait to be there and meet everyone.
Yeah, fabulous. And this is all because darling Raymond Herlal has included us in his program. He is just a sweetheart. And I'm ready. I'm just letting you know, I'm prepared, Raymond. I'm prepared. I've had my first banner come back. Let me see if I can get it the right way around. Da-da-da-da-da. What do you think of my banner, girl?
I love it.
This is one of the banners I'm putting up. I don't do things traditionally, so I don't have those kind of business pull-up banners. I do weird things with banners. I do bits and pieces. So it's unfortunately wouldn't have been done on time to get you on you, my girl, but I would have loved to do it. To have a look at this one, we've had over 16.3k views on this particular one. Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
Yeah, we've had some. Look at these wonderful. It's all these wonderful faces that have sat in this chair. Okay, and some of them are actually going to be at the Power Collaboration as well.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, it's going to feel like a reunion, you know, like family coming together.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, and that's the whole thing, is building community.
Yeah.
Right? Because together we can change the world. We can change our perspective. Yeah. And if we join together, not just here in Canada, but around the world, we have the ability to change the way things are done. I've already seen it in my lifetime. Men spend time at home now with their children. They never did that when I was little growing up.
No, I could never thought my dad would have stayed at home looking after us. Would never have happened.
And I think that's wonderful, because that's a delightful experience for them to have.
Yeah, wow. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so you've been watching the show here with Laurie K.Grant. And okay, let's have a look if there's any more comments. Focus on the future, nurturing a better world. Jeanette, weird is good. We love Jeanette. Although they're having a very hot Spain. They're having a very hot summer in Spain. And Sue says, sorry, I'm not going to make it. You're going to miss it. I know, Sue. It's also holiday time. I've had the most incredible response. I actually put it on Facebook. I wrote 88 personal invitations. And I said to people, you know, I handpicked them. I had a list. I handpicked them and I said, I'd like you to be there. Now, of course, they're not to everybody, because I knew some people were already going to be there. But the people that I thought wouldn't be there, or just to let them know that I was doing this thing, because this is a big thing for me. It's my professional speaking debut, right? And I have had the most incredible messages come back, which proved to me that what you and I are talking about works. Building a relationship and communicating with people, not sending them anonymous or autonomous emails. Does that make sense?
Well, it does. And if you think back to the 40s and the 50s, for instance, and I mean, this was the way I was raised. You know, if I went to dinner at someone's house, I'd brought something, whether it's flowers from my garden or vegetables if it was vegetable season, or maybe a bottle of wine, or some fruit, something. We sent invitations, we sent thank you notes. You did little special things to make somebody feel treasured and valued, and that's what's missing in the world today. People feel like they're just a number,
part of a number,
and they don't matter, and that's the way the big corporations have been. When they let go, they don't look at you as a person, they just look at the numbers and the dollars, and that's not what we are.
As entrepreneurs, we have a duty to bring that heart back into the business, right?
The personal touch.
But unfortunately, I know when I speak to some business leaders, and that when I talk about, I like interviewing heart-centered entrepreneurs, they say, people who are heart-centered don't make money.
That's
I get that
not
a lot.
True anymore. It might have been true 20 years ago, but not now.
I agree with you. I agree. I keep quiet when I get those kind of feedback, because I know that I would rather be talking to people with heart and soul connection and who are figuring out their way how to get their money going, than somebody who's just interested in me as a number or what I could do for their business without them even knowing who I am. I agree with you. We're having these really deep conversations lately on the show.
Celeste would like to know where the event is.
In Toronto, Markham, the Marriott Hotel in Markham.
It's at Steeles and...
I can't remember the street, but what will happen is Michael said he'd put the Eventbrite link on for you, Celeste. So Michael's going to put it in for you that you can actually see where it is. Tickets start at $39. So and children under 12 free. I love it that Raymond includes children in the event. He says bring the kids under 12 free. So that's amazing. Because we've watched Swapna and Amit Ambagangal, who used to bring their kids in, and I mean their daughter ended up writing a book, because these kids were allowed to come to these kind of events. I love that families included, and then that to me is, again, it's how heart-centered entrepreneurs work.
Well, and how do you teach children? Your job as a parent is to guide them in the ways of the world. So if you keep them from the world, they're not learning how to be in the world. So I've always believed that my son should come everywhere I go so that he experiences and learns, and then can make his own choices as to how he wants to be.
No, I did the same. I was a single mom with a boy, so I know all about it. Okay, so my angels, we're going to do a reading for Laurie. So we haven't spoken about this. I haven't got a clue what you want to know. Is there something you want to have clarity on in your life, for your business, or anything? That is to do with that you can pull a couple of colors and we'll have a color conversation with Laurie.
I'm actually, like you said, I'm doing a rebirth, and I'm not sure exactly where I'm going yet. I'm just kind of taking it one day at a time, seeing what the universe brings to me, what unfolds, and how do I fit within it. So
I'm loving this. I love this kind of reading. Okay, so what I want you to do for me is you're going to be turning around. You're going to look at the wall of bottles behind you.
Okay.
And I want you to pick me the first bottle that is going to say, this is Laurie K.Grant. Okay, a bottle that says, this is who I am. And then you're going to go back and pick another bottle. So first bring me that one, and then I'll ask you the next question. Let's do this one step at a time, okay? All right?
Alrighty.
And while Laurie's picking the bottles, please remember, my angels, you can look at the bottles here, 1, 2, or number 3, and whichever one you're drawn to, we're going to give you a little color reading as well at the end of the show, okay? Fabulous. So pop that on the light box for me.
That's the first one.
That's the first one. So that says, this is who I am right now.
Yeah.
The second one I want you to pick is, what is the future got in store for me? What does my future look like?
Okay.
A futuristic bottle.
Okie dokie.
Okay. You can actually stand up, Laurie, and have a really good look from a distance. Don't worry about the cameras. Michael handles all the camera stuff. Yeah. Just really feel and see, what does your future look like? Which bottle says this is Laurie K.Grant's future?
Wow. Future.
Isn't that a nice question to ask people? What does your future hold?
I don't know why, but this appeals to me.
Beautiful. And then I want you to pick one more bottle that says, actually I want 2. I'm going to be very cheeky here. One bottle that says what blocks you from that future, and one bottle that says what will help you towards that future.
Oh boy.
So a block, a yes and a no, a go and a block. Does that make sense? So pick me one that, and this is where your soul is actually now picking. You're not even picking these, right? So your soul is kind of giving you this, saying, hey, Laurie, you need to watch out for this thing. That's good potential block. Fabulous. And then the second one is your soul's going to say, this is what you have to focus on instead, so you can get to that future. So what is the go bottle?
Wow.
Mm.
I don't know why, but this keeps talking.
Okay, excellent. Let's pop it down. All right, so can you see all the black and whites and the pinky coral colors you're wearing? You picked exactly the colors you're wearing. And that's how color therapy works.
But I didn't do any of that.
Consciously.
No.
I know. It's just, this is how color therapy works, my darling. So often I have people come to me for readings, and they have private sessions with me, and they'll pick bottles and go, oh, I'm not drawn to this bottle. And I'll say, darling, just hold it up against your clothes, and they'll see that they're actually wearing the color. It's normal. Okay.
How delightful.
So my sweetheart, the G25 here, this bottle here, let me just have a little, we have a manual here that gives you all, and it's on the website too. If you ever want to pick a bottle, please go to the website and you'll see bottles with little messages on them. So G25 says where you are and who you are right now, my angel, the word integration. That's where you're at right now. You're integrating, all right? It's pale coral on top of pale coral. So this is where we take coral. Coral is a shock absorber. It's a healer. It talks about loving yourself, honoring yourself, nurturing yourself, loving yourself unconditionally, and taking that into your conscious and unconscious parts of yourself. So here we integrate the two levels. So the different aspects, the male, the female you were talking about, integration, bringing that all in. So it says here that we've been able to intellectually grasp that there is more to us than just the physical, but now we fully realize that we are so much more, that we are divine humans on earth, and that all of that is one thing, divine and human and earth, and we are all of that in a physical body. And this is the color that helps us to integrate that knowledge. So it says right now in your life you're coming out, you know, this healing process you've been through with all the things that have happened to you in the past. You're absorbing the shock, you're healing, you're beginning to find your own power. Coral's a nice color because it's made up of pink and yellow, and pink is love and yellow is joy. So it's finding that balance again of how do I have joy in my life again, and how do I have love in my life again. And coral brings that story together, and it's quite solid. And the fact that it's solid says you've been through one hell of a rough time lately. Okay? It's that bottle will always come in to say it's been a hell of a ride, but you're coming out of it now. Your future bottle, is that okay?
Yeah, that's actually right on the money.
Okay, all right. And then you've got bottle 11 as your future, and bottle 11 is mastery. And whenever double digits come up, like 11, 22, 33, 44, those are like double digits. We call them master numbers.
Yes.
So we say that what you're achieving or what you're working towards is self-mastery. And this is about being in charge of everything about yourself, being in charge of your mind, your body, your soul, your emotions, and really mastering every aspect of yourself. And seeing everything clearly, because at the bottom you can see it's like a yin and yang symbol where the balance of night and day and light and dark come in, and you don't have any judgments on any of it anymore. You just accept that this is life. And I know from the conversation we had upstairs, I know that's kind of where you're at. So it just feels so yin and yang to me. That balance you were talking about earlier.
Exactly. No, and that's exactly.
Yeah. And what I like about the 11, Laurie, is it's like, you know, the two stand next to each other like this. So it's like a portal, like a gateway that can open for you. Because once you have that balance, then there's nothing that can stop you. But I did ask the question, if there was something that would stop you, what would it be? And you went and picked a pitch black bottle. It's actually very deep magenta, but it's a black bottle, G8. And this is just going into the past. This is about the dark stuff that happened in the past. You've got to cut it off, snip, 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 and not go back. If you go any time back into those, you know, the traumatic experiences you've had, and you revisit any of them anyway, you give it any drop of energy, it can suck you back down the dark tunnel. So this is just saying, your soul is just saying to you, let it go. Love it, forgive it, move on. Let it be part of it. Then is that okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right.
That's like right on the money.
Then your light bottle, you put down this wonderful bright light bottle that says, your soul says, focus on the light. And of course, that also is rainbows, also colors. The color is important to you. You and I have to have more conversations, that's for sure. But color is important to you because colors make up the rainbow of light. You know, when you take white light and you shine it through a prism, all the rainbow colors come up. So rainbow colors are, in color healing and color therapy is actually quite important. And I know you were talking about, you were designing Raymond's website, and you were talking about, you know, the colors for his website and for Raymond Halal and how you specifically chose them. You're a color healer at heart, girl, and there's definitely something there for you and I to talk about. But that one says focus, your soul says focus on your light, shine your light. And I like that because it's like a spotlight on stage as well. So when you're on stage, and the conversation we had with our audience earlier is when you're on stage and that spotlight is on you, speak light, only light.
Like, I see you.
I loved it. I loved it. I watched Laurie do a talk called I See You at James Collert's Dynamo Speakers event, and you just got it that morning. You didn't even practice, nothing. You just went on stage and said, I see you.
And that's really one of the problems I see in the world today too, is that people don't feel like they're seen. They don't feel like they're heard. Yeah. They don't feel like they're included. And so it's really important that we acknowledge and recognize each other.
And your soul has just confirmed it by having you pick that bottle of light. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah,
just hold that bottle and tell me what you can feel on it, Laurie. Just feel it.
It's all-encompassing. Inclusive.
Yes.
And inclusivity is a big thing for me.
Yes. There you go. Oh, fabulous. Karen says, good morning, beautiful souls. Great show. Thank you, my darling. Sarah De Felice says, that's where I'm too. She's feeling your vibe here this morning. All right, my darling. So are we going to go and give our audience their little color?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that works.
So Laurie picked number 1. So for those of you who've picked number 1, my darlings, you have got this week. Let's just see if I can put it there. You picked this one.
Yes.
Which is C12, and it's the heart chakra bottle, the new colors. So it's pale pink and pale lilac. So for those of you who've picked number 1, I'll just pop you next to each other. Let me see if I can do it like that. Let's just move them down a little bit for me there, Laurie. There we go. So those of you who picked number 1, you have picked Laurie K.Grant, our special guest here on today's show. Her pick of the week, and it's heart chakra. So you know the heart used to be green. We always spoke about the heart part of our body being a green color. And this is the new heart chakra color that says that instead of being green, you call it the green-eyed monster, the monster of envy and jealousy. So instead of us doing love in a way that I possess you and own you and you're my property when I marry you and all of those kind of old green contracts that we had, humanity is evolving into pink for love. Pink is unconditional love and acceptance. I love you just because you're perfect as you are and I don't need to own you. That's why a lot of millennials won't get married, because they kind of feel this pink energy, right? The lilac on top is a color that comes from your crown and your spirit into the heart. So it's like the spiritualization of your heart. So it says everything you do comes from the heart. And we were looking at your story with your rebirth, your spirit and love coming together to serve humanity. So for those of you who picked number 1 with Laurie K.Grant, you need to go back, if you haven't watched the show from the beginning, and just listen from this incredible woman, her story, because you've been embodying on the show today what it's like to come from the heart. Everything you're going to do from this moment on, you're coming from the heart.
And what's interesting about this is that they're now discovering that hearts communicate. And so if you hug someone for more than 7 seconds, your hearts actually start to have an energetic exchange.
Yes, they recognize the frequency of each other.
Yes.
So I would suggest then, based on your advice, if you've chosen number 1, you need to set a goal to hug at least one person every day this week, 7 seconds minimum, right? And let's go and spread some love around the planet.
Super.
Oh, there
Wonderful.
we go. So those are number 1s. That's your job for the week. Those of you who picked number 2, you have picked Michael, our producer's bottle of the week. And I was a little bit like, when he picked it, but it's quite dark. It's kind of magenta on top, and it's violet at the bottom. Can you see that? And see, it's called C7, and this is the 7th chakra. So this is the one that says, own your gifts as a healer. Own your gifts as a healer. And look for ways that you can teach what you already know. So if you've picked number 2 and you think, oh, who am I to speak on stage, or who am I to write a book, or who am I to run a workshop or be a leader in any capacity, this the one always comes up and says, you already know enough. You are already enough. You have enough experience. You've had enough traumas and setbacks and challenges that you've overcome and initiations in your life. You know enough to be able to share with somebody else. So look for opportunities, those who pick number 2, to share your gifts that you already have with somebody else and give them hope. You're a healer, number 2s. Number 3s, you've picked my bottle of the week. I went completely left field on this one. And the only bottle I could see this morning was this one. It's gold and olive, and it's number 10, and it's called the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is an energy a term that I use in the Love and Money Bootcamp that says a balance between love, money, and joy. If you just pursue money, you buggered. The wheel, it won't turn, right? If you just pursue having fun and you don't pay attention to how you make money or your relationship, you're going to be in trouble. There must be a balance. All 3 segments in the Wheel of Fortune has to be in balance for it to be able to turn. So if you think about how much time do you spend in the day just focusing on one aspect of the Wheel of Fortune? And those of you pick number 3, this is about, if you've just been focusing on making money, this is a week you need to also focus on maybe bringing some more love and joy into your life, and spend a bit more time on that energy as well, and get your wheel into balance. Okay, if you've been focusing on play, joy, and you've not been focusing on money, and you hit some kind of cash flow crisis, please look at something you can do to try and earn yourself some income. Get the wheel into balance.
And it's interesting because we've been talking about being balanced.
This whole show has been about being balanced. Golly, you know what? It's been an absolute honor to have you on the show.
Well,
and it's so nice much to have a heart-to-heart chat about life and all the upcoming. And again, we need to say it again. We're speaking. You can meet both of us if you haven't yet met us, or you want to come and see this new energy being rebirthed on stage on the 20th and 21st at Raymond Hillel's event.
Yeah, power of collaboration.
The power of collaboration.
Come and join us. We'd be delighted to see you.
Yeah, we'll have such fun. You can't miss that. We'll be out there. You can't miss us. We will be there.
Super. Well, thank you so much. It's been a joy and a pleasure.
Fabulous. I'm going to look forward to spending the stage time and the event with you as well. Get to know you a bit better as well. I'm in awe because I've seen you recently just before you've been through this really dark stuff and shocking stuff, and the person sitting here, you're shining, girl. You're shiny. Oh, love it.
Wonderful.
Thank you, darlings, for watching. We'll see you next week on Monday. Cheers.
Ciao, ciao for now.